Hey guys, I'm Stay Hall.
And I'm Wallace Hall.
And together we are the Halls. And this is
The Hallway.
Okay, so last night we had kind of a chill night and decided to make it a Netflix and chill. Mm-hmm. And so we watched the new Tyler Perry movie. I think it's called A Medea's Homecoming. Mm-hmm. We have been seeing a lot about it on social media and heard that it was really funny from a lot of friends. And so we figure if we're going to have a movie night, then we are going to support Tyler Perry. We typically enjoy his work and get a lot of laughs out of the MADEA series. And so that is what we were prepared for last night. And it didn't disappoint. It was funny, right? Mm-hmm. However, we know that Tyler Perry usually tries to add some inspiration in all of his plots, and there's always a life lesson in each movie, and it was the same in this one. However, normally the lessons or inspiration don't really hit us or give us like this aha moment. Yeah. But last night, to our surprise, it kind of did. And I mean, we both were like, oh, at the same time.
Right.
So in this particular scene, and again, not a spoiler alert, but we're not going to ruin anything about the plot for you if you haven't already seen it. But there was a scene where Madea was kind of having a heart-to-heart with one of her relatives. I think it was a great niece. And she was just talking to her about marriage. And she said that one mistake that most people make when they get married is they only say, I do, to one person. I'm like, well, of course you only say I do to one person because you are usually only marrying one person. So I'm like, Madea, are you trying to say we need to bring sister wives to the aisle? Do we need to, practice polygamy more here in the United States? Do we need brother husbands? What do you mean you only say I do to one person? But the way she broke it down was genius. And I'm going to let you tell the people, teach the people what it means to not say I do to only one person.
You're basically saying I do to the person in the moment. But you got to understand when she's made the comment, you're saying I do to multiple people. You're saying I do to the person that person is going to become. And never thought of it like that until last night, and we're like, pause the movie, let's rewind that and let's hear that again to see what she's saying. And because people change, and that's really what it is when you say I do today, you have to be thinking of this person may change. Not may, this person will change. Yes. Let's put it that way. This person will change because life itself, you're going to change. You're going to change day by day because there's different things that are going to mold you. There's different people that are going to come into your lives that's going to have impact on who you are, who you're becoming. And that's what she was talking about in the movie. And it just really struck me when she said that. I'm saying we could have been a Madea. And we were like, that is a moment right there. She said something right there. Say I do to more than just this one person that's standing in front of you. You're saying I do to who they're going to become. And man, that was a boom moment.
Right. I mean, it really struck me. And so when I heard that, I'm like, Wallace, did you hear that? Like, I have never heard it broken down that way. I mean, and this is what we do, what we teach, what we've written books about is relationship and, knowing that people are going to change and evolve and you grow. But just to hear it that way, that from the moment you get married, you have to realize that you are making that commitment to that person and whoever they're going to be. And even to take it a step further, you're also saying I do to their past, because a lot of us bring in luggage or baggage from whether it's childhood issues or past relationships that sometimes don't necessarily always pop up during the dating phase. And so we have to kind of be prepared. Like we talk about people being raised in different households with different types of backgrounds. You are marrying all of that. And you have to be sure when you are entering into that covenant of marriage that you are committed to that person and everything that they've been and everything that they're going to be.
Right. And you got to remember also, they're saying I do to you and who you're going to become also. So it's a two-way street there. And man, that was just so profound, I guess to say. And man, I was really blown away by that. And just been thinking about that since we saw the movie and coming into the day to do this, to do our broadcast here. And man, it really kind of blew my mind, because that's really what it's about. It's about saying I do. It's about growing together and becoming who you want to become. And you're signing up to say, that's who I want to be with forever. And that's what we do when we get married. It is supposed to be forever. And sometimes I don't think people take the expectation that it really is forever. So I have to look at what possibly they could become, or who they could become, and how that's going to impact me, because I'm going to change also. So many times we look at it as, I know as we get older, lose your hair, we look at weight gain and stuff like that, but we don't always think about the mental aspect of it, or the personality of who this person is going to become also. And man, that just really is eye opener there. And just shout out to Tyler on that, and MADEA and
the writers,
whoever
wrote that.
That's going to be a new book we're going to work on starting real soon about that.
Who are you saying I do too?
Right. It's from a different perspective, and you hear things in life and stuff over and over and over again, but it doesn't always resonate. We kind of talked about this before. Sometimes it takes just that person, that situation, that timing where boom, I got it.
I mean, and I just thought it was neat because, again, we talk about how we change when we get married, how we change as we get older, and change is scary for a lot of people. But it's inevitable. Change is going to happen. And the thing is, it's sometimes things that are out of our control that force us to change. We get married and we don't know what life holds for either one of us, right? So you don't know if someone is going to, be in some sort of accident, God forbid, and it impairs them in some way. Maybe they end up wheelchair bound, or maybe it's just, injuries that they will recover from, but there's that recovery period.
Right.
That stuff changes people, and it changes their mindset, and it can change their whole mental state. Someone can end up, with cancer and have to go through treatments, and it changes them. And so we have to be prepared when we get married for whatever type of change, and know that we are there for the long haul, because things in life are going to happen. There's other things that might happen that are, on the positive side, where maybe when you first got married, one of you was just a student and moving towards your doctorate or whatever. And now you've gotten that degree and you're in business, and things about you are going to change. The way you think about things are going to change. And we have to be prepared for those, and to be able to be ready to support that person in every phase and change in their life, the things that were planned as well as the things that weren't planned. And like Wallace said earlier, and know that those same kind of changes are possible and will happen for us. Some of them are great and some of them are going to be a struggle, but we have to be prepared and not just shut down because now this person is moving and talking and acting a little differently than they were when we first got together. We have to be able to be flexible and roll with the punches, because it's a lot easier to see changes in other people than we see them in ourselves, because we're with ourselves every day, all day. And so it just seems like we're the same, but you have to realize and just be reflective of that and know that your spouse is dealing with changes with you too. Right.
There are going to be things that just kind of happen that you react differently to over time. I've always been a very confident driver, until a few years ago, I had an accident where a car was in front of me. It hadn't stopped quick. It ran in the back of somebody. And the next thing I know, I ran in the back of them. And then from now, when I drive, I'm that more conscious of what's in front of me. So I'm a different driver now. So why wouldn't it happen in your marriage or in life when certain things happen that may cause you to react differently to things and you think differently? I'm a little more cautious now when I'm driving behind somebody. I keep extra distance now. So in a relationship, when things like that happen, you're different. Things are going to impact you differently. So you're going to look at things different. You're going to see things a little differently. You may not be so, we talked about the baggage earlier. You may not be so giving. You may not be so open because of past baggage and things like that, or something that may have just happened recently in sometimes your relationship. So those things come into play when you're when you're in a relationship. And we talk about our vows. You know, we think about mainly rich or poor, sickness and health, better or worse. We think about those things, but the whole mental and the personality thing, I think we live out, and we don't really take those things to heart like we should, and think about who we're marrying and who they're going to become.
Right. And the thing is, we have to just know that when you are in a committed relationship, such as a marriage, you have to know that that commitment, the word commitment, is permanent.
Right.
It's not something where you can only be committed on the good days and not the bad days, and only committed when you respond and react to things this way and not that way. Commitment is commitment. It means that I am committed to you in this marriage through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so, you know, Wallace and I are big on advising you guys who are newly engaged or newly married, and even for some seasoned people, because it's never too late to go back and do some things that maybe you missed out on in the beginning, but to have those crucial conversations. And so this is just an extra added piece that I would say to add to those conversations, just to make sure that now, since MADEA has taught us this very important fact, that we kind of have that conversation before we get married, just to make sure that we're both aware that I may not always be the exact same person I am today. And are you in this for the long haul? Are you willing to change and grow with me? Are you willing to accept me as I change and grow? Are you okay to accept changes in me if by chance I would happen to get sick? If by chance there would be something that might change me physically?
Right.
Whatever it is, are you there for that? Because I'm still me. And I'm still the person that you married and are committed to, but are you willing to stay committed to me? And are you willing to say I do to everyone I've been and everyone that I'm going to be? And not saying that we have multiple personalities, but I'm just saying we change.
We kind of do. We kind of do.
Things about us change. And so I would just say, you know, have that conversation up front, because I know we study and research this stuff day in and day out. This is what we do. And we never thought about it quite this way, even though we've explained some things very similar to this,
right.
But just that
where that drove it home
phrase.
Yeah.
You make the mistake of only saying I do to one person, because we know that we get married, we love each other, and we've gone through a relationship, but still, until you're really married and living that thing day in and day out, we still have the opportunity through the courting stage and being engaged to show up as our best selves every single day.
Right, representative.
Yeah, but once you get married, it's like, this is the real deal Holyfield. And so are you willing to stay committed to me even when I look crazy in the morning, even when I'm in a bad mood, even when, you know, things just aren't quite the way they used to be? Are you still committed? Did you say I do to the me with the bonnet on? Right.
You got to remember, love covers a multitude of faults.
Yes.
So I'll put it that way. And that's really what it's about. Sharing love, being loving, staying in love, and being willing to grow with that person as they grow with you. Yeah,
so that was just an awesome aha moment. We never in a million years thought that we would be making a video about a MADEA's homecoming. And it was cool. It was, you know, the movie did, you know, it was silly. It was funny, but, you know, it talked a lot about acceptance and forgiveness. And, you know, it was just one of those ones that I took a lot more from it, like, seriously, than I normally do. So right. It was cool, like, because it was super silly. But when you see the lessons of acceptance and love and, you know, those types of things, I was like, all right, Tyler, I see what you're doing. It was good. It was really good. And again, not something we ever thought that we would be talking about, but how could we not? Because it was so on point. So yeah, most time we watching Tyler Perry movie, we come out talking about the different things that MADEA did or that Brown did or Cora did. That's mostly what we come out of. But we came out of this like, man, that was some impactful stuff that was just said. And man, shout out the Red Lobster scene. I know that's right. Yeah. So it was good. So if y'all haven't seen it, it is worthwhile. Please, I mean, check it out. It's super, super silly. So don't get me wrong. It's not like this serious drama, you know, type of movie. It is super silly. It's funny, but
it's a good night to just say, like I say, just
Netflix
and chill.
Right. So definitely check out a Madea's Homecoming. In the end, I'm not going to spoil it for y'all, but the after the movie scenes.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, hilarious. That was probably
did
my
your thing in that
part.
Tyler.
So not going to spoil it for y'all, but I'll just say this: watch it till the end. Like watch it to the end. It was great. So guys, it has been another wonderful time with you all. We appreciate you so much for tuning into the hallway. If you have not already, definitely check out A Madea's Homecoming on Netflix. It is super funny and super good. And also, if you have not, I need you to subscribe to the hallway by clicking that subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell so that you will be notified every single time we drop new content. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure, and we look forward to having you all as a part of our tribe from now on. And I'm Stay Hall.
And I'm Wallace Hall.
And we'll see you next time in
the hallway.